Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I am Nicole. Sag, this is going to be your theme of 2025. I just wanted to touch upon something that may have significance for you in 2025 and kind of go from there. We'll see how it all plays out over the year, right? But I wanted to get a little bit of information for you, see what is popping up in the realms. The one thing I'm going to say real quickly before I say thank you to everybody is it's all been an illusion, Sag. It's all been an illusion. So we'll see what that means for you as we go here. But that's what I heard from Spirit. I also want to tell you, thank you to everybody who's liked, shared, subscribed, donated to the channel, made personal appointments with me, become channel members. In 2024, you all made this channel just do amazing things, and I'm so incredibly grateful for that. So thank you all. And hello 25. Let's see what happens again, right? That's awesome. So, and pardon the congestion. The last two readings I've done, I've sat down, yours being the second one here. No issues with my ear that occasionally gives me this like pressured feeling. And as soon as I sit down to do these reads, boom, it comes. So my apologies if I'm trying to clear my ear by sniffling, because that seems to be the best way to do it, because it's just a thing. So there you go. There's my personal problem for today. Thanks for listening. But anyways, so with that, personal reads are open. Channel memberships are open. Personal read information in the email can be found in the description box below, as well as the about section of the page. Send me an email and we'll go from there. All right. So, Sag, let's get to it. What is going on in 2025 for you all? What is the overall theme, or the theme that Spirit feels that you need to be aware of at this time? So let's see. You could be losing your patience with some things. And you want to be clear as to why you're losing your patience to begin with, okay? Somebody could be having relationship issues, and I'm hearing, is it us? Is it this? It's something on this is us, or this is it, or something to that effect. I'm not quite sure. Cancer, immerse, Saturn structure. So a change, an invitation to change the structure of something here, Sagittarius. Let's see. An invitation. Nurture. What you nurture grows, right? Like common sense is, you don't take care of it, it falls apart. You take care of it, it comes together. So we'll see what else comes out here. Strength, dignified. Spirit just said pride is your challenge. The unknown is your challenge of 2024. Getting your pride and ego in check, Sagittarius, and there you are. Expansion, Sag energy, Virgo, digest. I don't know what it is with you, Sag, but for the last couple of years that I have read, well, actually, it's been the last year, a little over the last year that I've read for you, there has been this ongoing struggle and this back and forth with the divine feminine and the divine masculine within you. And I think this year you're going to get some clarity around that, finally. Like, hello, hallelujah, finally. Because there's got to be an equitable balance of both your feminine and your masculine power. And you have to understand what it is to nurture that. Your pride of hurt feelings, I think, has gotten in your way for a long time. And now it is having to dive deep, having to take down those barriers, those boundaries, those walls, and having to get to the heart of the matter within you. Probably for a lot of you, an untouched space that seemed worlds away is what Spirit is giving me. The potentially always fighting for a sense of stability, security. Spirit saying reckless spending. I feel like these are all of the things, Sag, that Spirit's bringing up from the past and telling you that this year, the things that you've chosen to ignore that have been more detrimental to you than you've realized are coming up to be healed, that are going to come up for you to have to change. It feels like things that the cities of LA and then the state of Alabama are coming up. No idea why. I'm hearing the phrase so long as you're willing to do it with me. So this could be somebody asking you, Sag, for support. Like, can we do this together? And there it goes back to that us thing. Or you could be asking for support from somebody. There needs to be a rectification of energies when it comes to your partnerships. What you have sown is what you reap, right? And I think there's been a lot of space in your life that's been a bit unclear for some time. And now it's, what do I want to call this? Trying to find a better example than what just came to me. It's kind of like, there we go. Thank you, Spirit. Refurbishing furniture. Something that is old, it's seen its better days. Aesthetically, it doesn't look so great. How can you repolish it, fine-tune it, clean it up, redo it, make it more valuable again? I feel like this is tied to your emotions. What makes your emotions valuable to you? I think the way that this comes in, those deeper parts of yourself, Sag, have been a struggle for a really long time. Spirit saying to me to come into compassion with you as I do this reading. It's okay to take the opportunity, Sag, to look in the golden mirror and ask ourselves how we got to where we are, why things have turned out as they have, what part, accountability, did we play in that? And it's okay to admit that we could have done it differently, right? I mean, I think anybody who has any age on them past 30, and nothing against people who are viewing this that are not 30 years old, when you have life experience and we look back to certain situations, I think a lot of us, maybe we don't live with regrets, but it's like, yeah, if I would have known that, I would have done it differently. I would have tried something else. I would have found some other resolve to a situation than the one that I chose. Self-forgiveness, coming from this compassionate space from me to you, that you're not a perfect human being. None of us are. But it doesn't mean that at any age we can't begin again. We can't start off on a fresh slate. We can't, refine ourselves, retune ourselves, whether this is physically. I feel like there's this idea around the aesthetics. So some of you could be changing, Spirit also saying jobs. So maybe there's an appearance to that job that you had to work under a certain condition. So you're changing jobs, changing your physicality, changing your hair, changing your clothes, Spirit changing your phone number. Like, all kinds of things could be changing in 2025 for you, Sagittarius. I think it's interesting too, you are the 9th zodiac sign, and this is a year of 9. It's time to close out these really big, long, tumultuous cycles of a lack of emotion, and they're asking you to nurture it. It's like if you were to go out into a field of flowers, how many flowers could you pull from that field that you cultivated? It's like they're posing you a question of, that's going to show you in 2025 the rewards from the past. Are you satisfied with what you're able to reap from what you've sown? Is it enough? Spirit is asking you to want more for yourself in 2025. That finding the personal power and drive to point yourself in the right direction will lead to fruitful endeavors in any avenue of life. I'm going to pull one of these self-reflection cards because, Sag, I feel like this is really a lot about self-reflection for you in general throughout 25. Spirit saying cleaning up the messes that were made in the past, honoring yourself. Spirit saying taking a leap of faith as well. Spirit's telling me to keep this one and pull one more. In regards to relationships, it says, describe your attachment style and explore how it has impacted your relationships. Is there anything that you would like to change? 11:11 on the clock as I say that. Don't be afraid. Spirit is saying, don't be afraid to admit a pattern of behavior in your relationship styles, because the only restraint that you have is the one where you're willing not to change certain things, okay? So that's very important as you move through 2025. And I will say it's not just about romantic partnerships. Your relationships are everything, from your dog to your neighbor to your mailman to your mother, okay? So, and they still throw 2 cards at you, so we're going to take both of those. The next question's relationships and roots. There you go, Sag. What support do you desire in your life right now? So what do you need, Sag? What do you need as you move through 2025? And the only person that can truly answer that for you is you. What do you need in regards to your structures? And Spirit saying, what do you take pride in? What is it that you're so prideful of at this point? Roots, what factors shaped your core values and belief? And we talk about Pluto and Aquarius. That's our structures, our values, our beliefs. It's Hierophant kind of energy. Our spiritual structure, what we define as this is our way of moving forward in life. What does that look like for you? And how has that core belief or value helped or hindered you along the way? Can there be some fine tuning to those core values and belief? Ultimately, Sag, these answers lie within you, okay? I feel like 2025, again, is going to be a lot of reflection with this mystery card, the 8th house. Check out what's in your 8th house. That's pretty significant. And Pluto is rebirth, right, which is tied to Scorpio. Scorpio is the house of mystery. They rule the 8th house. You're going to want to take a look at that, okay? Spirit's saying the majority of you having to do with your emotions. What you keep pushed down and repressed or suppressed, or however they say that. Because it's like there's a whole life within there, Sag, for you in 25 it's always been with you. It isn't like 25 turned around and hit the stroke of midnight and it was like, oh, here you go, Sag. Here's all of these things, this beautiful blank canvas that you can paint. You've always had that blank canvas. But it was like you kept going back and scribbling over the one that's been painted over and over and over again. I'll just change the color. Well, that color bleeds into the glass color. The whole thing has to change. The whole thing needs a redo from a blank start, from a blank page, right? All right, what is this nurture about for Sag? What tried? 3 of Swords just tried to come out. This is healing the pain. I'm going to say to you, nurturing the pain. And I think there's been moments, Sag, where you've probably been forced to look at certain things. But it was easier to throw yourself into a space of distraction with work or other issues or just needless behaviors, little things that kept you from having to truly do the work to address the deepest parts within you. Even with that, the 3 of Swords was like, I'm here, but I'm going to go back in the deck. You know that it's there, you know that it exists, but yet the refusal to have to really dig deep and do the work in it. It's like, I've done a little bit, that's good enough. The Hangman coming out, and the Justice card. That balance, right? That balance. Spirit's saying denying yourself the right to spiritual growth. It's like you do get a little bit of hits, a little bit of downloads on certain things, and you go, well, it's questioning that core belief system of, is this really true? And acknowledging parts of it, but not all of it. And the Justice card is the truth. It is the truth that we're often not willing to see because of the internal struggle of the Five of Wands. Is what it's like, taking the easy way out, Sag. What's easier for me to get around this? You're still carrying baggage. And I feel like I've beaten you guys over the head with this energy for over a year. But it keeps coming up because it still needs to be addressed. The Six of Wands, victory, success, pride, wanting to appear everything is fine when it is not. Maybe on the surface it is. Maybe you're on your horse and you're galloping off into the sunset. It's like people who are runners, who, if I just leave this city, I leave this town, I leave this house, all my problems will resolve themselves. You can run, Spirit. You can run, but you can't hide. Those problems are on the ass end of that horse and they're following right along. They haven't gone anywhere. So wherever you go off to, wherever you feel like you can build anew, can you? Sure. But the same problems are still going to exist until you validate the experience that you've had for yourself, acknowledge it for what it is, and getting very clear with yourself that sometimes we don't, was this Virgo? I did Virgo's reading, 1717 on the clock. Massive healing, Spirit is saying. I told them, like, it's okay to say you don't know. It's okay, Sag, if it doesn't make sense to you quite yet. So you reach out to somebody. Some of you could be reaching out to therapists this year, people of counsel, higher clergy, maybe spiritual tarot readers and whatnot, seeking some sort of guidance from the Queen of Swords. Someone who can, and it's going to take somebody, Sag, who can meet you on that intellectual level too. It's like they're going to have to be able to talk with you, through you, for you to get through to your emotions. Even then, it's like a resistance to address the emotions, okay? Because it's like you're looking for somebody that can analyze those emotions and make it make sense. Well, you have to feel it. Seven of Cups, deep beneath the surface, there's confusion. I think there is this fantasy or delusionment of, if I just run into this, it's going to make my world crash and burn. You will not crash and burn, but you will feel. And sometimes those feelings are not the most pleasant ones. But in the middle of it, in the middle of all of the confusion, think about what inspires you. You know, again, back to that question of what support do you desire in your life right now? What are your desires? Who supports your true desires? Are you actually supportive of your own desires? Because remember, whatever you're feeding to yourself is what you're going to get back from the external world. You're sending off that vibrational energy. It feels, to me, the way this comes in, Sag, is you feel that it's very careless of you to take the emotional deep dive. Why would I go there? What's the point? What good is that going to do me to go back 23 years? What good is that going to do for me to go back 10 years? What good is it going to do me to revisit the idea around that old relationship that failed miserably? Because you haven't done the inner work. Or, for some of you, there's another level to this. And I'll tell you, in short, very short here, there was something that I dealt with years prior to a time frame many years ago now. And I thought that I had healed that. And I had gotten past a lot of it. There's no denying that. But when I had to sit down and do this exercise, we'll call it, I didn't realize how much residual stuff was still there. And what I thought would be a page or two of writing turned into 25 pages. And that was the point that I realized I hadn't resolved as much of whatever this was as I thought I had. I finally got to speak my truth. I got to offer my own forgiveness to myself. It changed the way that I seen that entire time frame in my life. Even when we think we've moved past a lot of the difficult things, there are still parts that stick. It's residual debris that we carry forward. Energetic debris, spiritual debris, whatever you want to call it. Negative debris that still lives within us that needs to be resolved. And for you, Queen of Cups, Eight of Cups, trying to walk away from that emotional attachment. The attachment style, right? Excuse me, that specific card of what is your attachment style. I think the attachment style here, Sag, is who's going to take care of me? Who's going to nurture me? Who's going to pay attention to my needs? Did you spend your life feeling like you never got your needs met? And where does that wound start? Where does that wound end? Because you may not have control over where it started, but you've got control of where it ends. And this year, to me, feels like you're going to start to become much more aware of those sorts of things so that you can bring it to an end. Okay? This 8th house of mystery, 4 of Cups, Eight of Wands, crossing that energy, King of Pentacles. You know, so it's going to be real important for you to stay out of victim mode, because it can be the thing that stops you from progressing. There's an idea, you know, I'm not a doctor, okay? Not a doctor, not a licensed professional, blah, 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 right? We know this. Spirit's asking you to reevaluate and reposition yourself in all areas of life in 25. You've got the ability, it lives within you to move this really far forward really quickly or to hold it up for a long time. The choice is yours. You may feel like when it comes to business, things are not progressing the way that you want them to. May could be a significant time marker around this Taurus season. I think that in the middle of the emotional side of things, some of you could be making some job changes. Some of you becoming entrepreneurs as well. You're going to find that the people that said they wanted the best for you professionally, it was a lie. You're going to have to make a decision around, it's almost like you got your foot in like one door and your foot in another door. So some of you could be working multiple jobs or something too. But there is something here that may be holding you back in that regard. 24. Like, not everybody's going to be on your team. Not everybody wants to see you succeed, and I think, Sag, that's been a redundant theme for you from childhood. People always had something negative to say, and I think that part of this emotional side of this is you carrying that negativity with you like a knapsack all through life, You're going to have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You're going to have to get comfortable knowing that not everybody has the best of intentions for you, and where to cut those people off at. For some of you, I hear, well, it's just business. I still like them as a person. Spirit goes, no, you don't. What does that mean to you? Because I think you're dealing with people who can't separate business from personal, and that creates problems for you to succeed, because you're walking back into the hornet's nest around people that don't have the right energy to support the life you're trying to create. You need a complete realignment. People, places, and things. Okay? Because the external battle of them competing with you turns into an internal battle of you competing with those wounds of the past. All right? One more card, please. Or 10 of them. You need, okay, Spirit's saying this is the advice. 6 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, the Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune. Boom. Understand that you need to contemplate every aspect of all of these people in your life. And did you choose the right ones for the right reasons? Or was this, I grew up here, these are my people, it's okay to make a move. Just because you've known them for 40 years doesn't mean that they are your people. Just because they gave birth to you doesn't mean they are your people. Your friendships are going to change significantly, and the 2 numbers that stick out to me the most for you are 6 and 9. That's yin and yang. That's masculine, that's feminine. And they need to be brought into balance. And there's a whole lot of masculine here still. It's like, I'm going to fight for this. But I think that still in part, Sag, you're struggling to fight with the fact that it's not the way that you see it. It's almost like you're trying to prove your worth to something or someone. Like, they'll be on my corner. I'll have their support. You may not see, you may not want to see it for what it is, but I think you've always known. You can be extremely intuitive, Sagittarius. This turning point for you with that wheel of fortune, that karma, you get to decide what cycle you're going to run. Is it good or bad? Which way do you want that wheel to spin? You may be dealing with fixed energies, so Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. You've also got Virgo here, Libra, Pisces. I will say this though, Sag, I feel like a Pisces could be the thing in the past. Doesn't have to be. But I feel like a Pisces was likely for some of you to be the person that put you in that pinned up, stagnant position, maybe upwards of 13 years ago. 13 to 23 years ago for some of you that are older. Those 2 specific numbers. You could have been 13 or 19 years old too at the point of something happening here. But those numbers are highly significant in this, okay? I gave you the advice. I'm going to pull one more card from this for you, but that was Spirit's advice to you. All right, advice for Sag. You need to build your confidence. Where you once believed you were not enough, it's time to mature. It's self-sabotage. It's fear of what if I fail. Right now, I feel comfortable. It's like doing a job for 30 years, and you know that job inside out. You could do it in your sleep and never have to give it a second thought. But you've always wanted to go do something else. Well, that means you'd have to change fields. That means you'd have to learn something new. Yes, you can teach old dogs new tricks if they want to learn. But it's like, I don't know enough. I thought I knew enough about this. You can learn. You can do it. Maybe it takes a little bit of extra practice. But if you're persistent for something that's going to better your life, you will succeed. But you also have to believe in yourself. And I think that that's been a large part of the struggle, is you've stuck with what you've known and you haven't gone into this level of expansion that is that of Sagittarius. There's a greater expansion. You are going to need to weigh your options. You're going to have a lot more options than you think. I'm going to tell you, take the ones that are not close to home. Whatever that means for you. The ones that are not close to home. You know, I've said this before, I think in general conversation. I'm going to say this to you here and now, and I don't know what the significance is going to be here with this backstabbing card. I'm a firm believer that government officials should never be hired within the area in which they live, because everybody knows somebody. So, I don't know, we'll say the sheriff's neighbor gets arrested, and because they've been neighbors for 30 years, they sweep it under the rug. It shouldn't be that way. You do something wrong, it's wrong. You do something right, it's right. You are going to have more support away from your home area than you would from people that have known you since you were a child, because they see who you are now and not the misconceived perception of who they think you are. So if a job or a situation is requiring you to move and make changes, you need to jump on it and you need to go, because you're going to have greater support elsewhere. So if you've been questioning anything like that, or you find yourself in 2025 questioning anything like that, you know what you need to do. Sag, I'm leaving it there. I hope that this was incredibly helpful to you. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I always love hearing from you all. Personal reads are open and available. That info can be found in the description box below, as well as the about section of the page. Email is there. Get a hold of me. Channel memberships are open. Happy New Year, Sagittarius. Happy 2025 to you. I hope that it is prosperous and healing and full of love and good health. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.